winds coming in right there, and really strong winds coming in on the leading side of this. So in a minute, I want to take a look at some of our weather cameras here looking back towards this. I'd be willing to bet we've got a mean looking shelf cloud that is bowing out from this storm right here. Once again, if you're just now tuning in with us, your phones probably went off. That's a little different from normal severe thunderstorm warnings outside of just getting the message from the KAIT weather app. Getting more reports of damage out of Sharp County. But that's why we're sticking with this. You know, you probably got this emergency alert like like you would get, as Aaron would say, if you had a child abduction or a tornado warning. And even though there's not a tornado with this storm, we're just going to stick with it for a little bit just to make sure that everybody's safe. It's a weekend. Maybe some people are out and about. I think a lot of people just stayed indoors because it was so hot and so humid. That's one positive of this, is we are getting some relief from the heat, but getting reports. Yeah, I'm seeing pictures now of that shelf cloud coming through.
And we're starting to see that shelf cloud on the Central Baptist camera as it's coming into the west side of Jonesboro right now.
Okay, when you guys get a chance, we'll take a look at the Central Baptist camera, but I'm seeing pictures also on Twitter. Got Pete, a quarter-size hail on County Road 701 in Lawrence County, so it's going to be the southern parts of Lawrence County getting hail reports now. Quarter-size hail, so that would be severe hail. Just lost power in Bono, so we're going to see a lot of power outages. There's the shelf cloud right now. That is an indication of some strong wind on the leading edge of that. That's going to be moving in. Look how calm the trees are right now.
And we're going to see those winds pop and pick up. Just looking at the velocities, the wind inside the storm, we're starting to see those winds starting to pick up at west side, starting to pick up as you come up Highway 49 there at Gibson Switch. So we're 226 and Highway 49 kind of meet there as you start to come into Valley View. Some strong winds still right there on the Craighead-Poinsett County line north of Wiener. So we don't need to let our guards down in northern Poinsett County, north of Wiener to Greenfield, and eventually towards Truman, because there will be some strong winds there as well. But we're starting to see that wind really punch into Craighead County, and that's what the National Weather Service went ahead and issued the severe thunderstorm warning for all of Craighead County. They wanted to make sure that people in Lake City, in Caraway, in Monette, in Bay got the alert that we got here in Jonesboro a while ago, because this is going to be strong winds. It's probably going to go from the west side of the county all the way to the east side of the county, and eventually over into Mississippi County.
There's the leading edge of it also now looking out from First National Bank. That's an ominous looking sky right there. That's a real, and I'm seeing other pictures now coming in. I think a large part of Jonesboro is going to lose power. Did that camera freeze already? Oh, no, there it is.
No, the camera at NEA Baptist, at First National Bank kind of comes and goes on a good day. So.
All right, so we're looking from Hilltop area back toward the storm that is coming into Jonesboro. That's a pretty good look at that shelf cloud. You look at the flags there in front of First National Bank. They're blowing around a little bit, but that is an ominous looking sky coming in right now. All right, let's go back to radar for just a second. For those that are just joining us, we're staying with you for a severe thunderstorm warning with winds possible up to 80 miles per hour. We also have this hail core that's right through. Well, let me clear this off of here. This is where we were getting quarter-size hail, and it looks like that might be picking up, which Aaron was talking about that a little bit ago. That's actually coming to us, pretty close to us here at KAIT.
And that will come straight into Bono. So within the next 5 minutes, that's coming into downtown Bono. So. And,
we're still getting a lot of strong wind through here, but obviously winds are pretty strong up here too, unless the lightning cause the power outages up here, because we're getting a lot of power outage reports here. But that's some really strong wind that's starting to come into Poinsett County. You see these blue colors here, that's over 60 miles per hour. That's about to cross over Highway 49. And just torrential downpour also. We'll check back in with Jace Passmore in just a second, but I'm watching his feed down in the corner here, and we're getting a ton of rainfall from this also. So if you notice, here are all the lightning strikes. That's just within the past 15 minutes. Just an incredible electric storm. you know, one thing about these hot temperatures fuel these storms. We talk a lot of times about storm fuel, and we'll show you an indice called KAIT. That's means convective available potential energy, KAPE, C-A-P-E. That number, we start getting worried when it's like 1,500, 2,000, but it has been shooting up to like 5,000 and 6,000. So we've got a lot of fuel for this storm to have lift, and this thing's been building up to about 60,000 feet. I'm gonna check on that hell core that you were showing just a little bit ago, Aaron. It was lofting the hell up, and it looks like it's dropping it now. You know, let me give you an idea of what I mean by this. You see, there it is right there being dropped. When Aaron was showing it to you just a little bit ago, let me see if I can position this a little closer. When Aaron was showing you this just a little bit ago, it was lofted up in here and was just showing a little bit of it coming down. And then now, when we look at this, let's see. Now when we look at this and I scan through this, it may have dropped most of it. Let's see, there's still a little bit of that in there, right through here. So that's still in Lawrence County. That'll probably drop somewhere along the Greene County, Craighead County line. Look at this thing. Thing's still building up to about 50,000 feet.
I don't know if we just went to generator power, but we're starting to get power, getting the lights flashing here at KAIT.
Uh-oh.
And looking at Craighead Electric, Entergy, all of Bono's without power right now. There's a good portion of from places like Bono, the county side of Bono, to Egypt, north of Cache back to Alicia right now, where the power is out from Craighead Electric. So we've got about 400 Craighead Electric customers in Craighead County and Lawrence County without power. And then as you get back towards western parts of Lawrence County, northern Independence County, back around Saffel, we've got close to 200, a little over 200 without power there. On top of that, Entergy, we're losing power outages in Bono. That stretches back down into Jonesboro, and we'll likely see a good sweep power outages here in Jonesboro. Back towards the west, back towards Cave City, northern parts of Independence County, Moorfield, Charlotte, north of Sulphur Rock, back to Cave City, Sydney. Power's out there from this storm when it came through earlier. We're starting to see that strong wind now moving to the western sides of Jonesboro. So this is getting closer to Valley View. This is now coming into the west end neighborhood of Jonesboro, into North Jonesboro. This will be in downtown within the next minute or so, and then it will move towards the Nettleton side of town. Here's a live look from NEA Baptist. You can see the camera on shop of the NEA Baptist is starting to shake. We're starting to take another power hit here at KAIT. So the winds are really picking up here in town. Let's go to Central. We're starting to see the rain and the wind pick up at Central Baptist Church there in South Jonesboro. And I'm looking at the winds there on the Central Baptist camera. They're starting to pick up. The trees are really starting to sway down there as well. So we're starting to see that strong wind move into Jonesboro right now. If you're in Brooklyn, you've got about probably 3 to 5 minutes before it's into your part of town or into your part of the county. If you're in Lake City, Monette, and Caraway, you still have about 10 minutes. So going to keep that up. There's the outage map. We have power outages in Bono right now. That's from Entergy, Arkansas. And then we have, let's go back to radar because that's what we really want to look at right now. We have this really strong storm that's now pushing into Craighead County, into the heart of Craighead County. So this is for Jonesboro. Can we go to max 2, Melvin, if we can get that up? Because we have this very, very strong bowing storm. When you see that bow coming into town, that is very strong winds pushing into town, and that's moving into Jonesboro now. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Harrisburg, Lepanto, Truman, Marktree, and Tyronza for the southern end of that storm that has a lot of wind in it as well. So let me go ahead and give you a quick storm track and give you a quick update on how when this is moving into your hometown with this storm that's moving off towards the east at about 60 miles per hour. So we got a forward speed of 60 miles per hour pushing a lot of wind in. This will be in Jonesboro right now. Harrisburg 548, Truman downtown 555, Lake City 558, into Marktree at 604, 606 in Lepanto. Then it pushes into Mississippi County. Manila at 613, Big Lake 614, Joyner 619, and Osceola at 623.
We're getting more power outages are coming in now in Jonesboro. I'm getting reports of transformers blowing. The wind's really starting to kick up now. Let's go back to radar for just a second. If you could, Aaron, can you move some of those cameras around and see if we can get a better look at the storms? Severe thunderstorm warning continues. They have also included Poinsett County on the severe thunderstorm warnings. By the way, there's a tornado warning down the central part of the state. That's not for us, but let me check the winds on this. That is still some really strong winds coming through from Jonesboro down to the south here. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. That is some, there is something right there on the county line that we will have to watch just a little bit. Let me look.
And looking at our cameras, very torrential downpours on the central camera. We're starting to see the rain pick up here at Hilltop, at the stadium, and at NEA Baptist right now. So we got very strong winds. I'm looking at the central camera, and you can just see the rain just whipping past the camera. You can barely see Harrisburg Road.
On the central camera?
On the central camera right now.
Let's go to the Central Baptist camera real fast. That's going to be right here. So the heavy rain's really, it is coming down right now. Very heavy rain in Jonesboro after a very hot day. That rain is coming down. Looks like there's still power there, but some people did lose power just a little bit ago. We're getting lights being flickering right there at Harrisburg Road. Just got a report of lights flickering at Hilltop also. So.
And we got a lot of people out in firework tents and in campers right now.
Yeah, that's right.
We need to make sure that if you know anybody that's in a fireworks tent, especially in eastern parts of Craighead County and eastern parts of Poinsett County, Mississippi County, they get into some substantial shelter because winds at 80 miles per hour will not only blow away their tent, but will also probably do some damage, could possibly blow away the campers that I know a lot of these people are trying to stay in, trying to make sure that their merchandise and stuff stays safe during this during the 4th of July holiday. So make sure, if you know somebody that's out at one of those firework tents, manning a firework tent, let them know that this is a very, very strong storm that's now moving through the middle of Jonesboro right now.
All right, let's go back to radar max 1. And you can see that we've got heavy rain that has kind of engulfed Jonesboro now. The strongest winds are about to cross between Greenfield and Jonesboro. We're talking winds 80 miles per hour possibly going through there, but I'm getting numerous power outage reports coming out of the Jonesboro area, and chances are we're going to see more of that as that continues to move eastward. I don't want to lose any of the storms, so we've got some activity back here in Fulton County, just some beneficial rain in Jackson County now, down into Cross County and Woodruff County, and then down to the south, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning outside of Region 8. This is the storm of the hour right now. This is the one that is prompting the severe thunderstorm warning that has the tagline of possibly 80 miles per hour. I see Jace really slowing down. I can see Jace's feed in the George Kell Storm Tracker here from where I'm standing. Let's check in with him in just a minute if he can. He has slowed down quite a bit. Jace, if you can, where are you right now and what are you seeing?
Yeah, hey Ron, I'm coming into the south side of Jonesboro, and it's not windy, but the rain is really starting to come down. The rain's pulling on the roads, which makes it really hard to keep traction. So you've really got to make sure you're taking it slow if you're out in this. But if you can, get home, stay home. But not very much in the way of gusty winds, but definitely some heavy rain.
All right, appreciate that update, Jace. Very heavy rain. As long as it doesn't come down too much, then it's actually good to get a little bit of rain with these storms coming through. And I know a lot of people are getting rain without the severe weather, so that's good. All right, so once again, severe thunderstorm warning continues. Winds continue to go pretty hard in Jonesboro right now. Stronger winds down to the south. Just had a report kind of from the southern parts of this, and 47 miles per hour was from Scott Matthews, was the highest wind peak wind that he had there. I really think this section here, kind of Jonesboro down to the northern parts of Poinsett County, right through there would probably be the strongest winds. We can see that also. See this punching through. I'm a little worried about that. Is that anything to be worried about, Aaron? You're looking at some stuff behind the scenes.
They are not pointing that out at the moment, but I'll talk to them. One thing I do want to point out, got a report in southern Greene County, the lights flickering from a Craighead Electric there, a Craighead Electric customer in southern Greene County. And most of the heavy winds, strong winds, are in Craighead and Poinsett County. So even farther north into southern Greene, you're starting to see, you can see some impacts from this storm. May not get the gusty winds we're getting here in Jonesboro and eventually into Harrisburg, but you could lose some power. We just got a report of a 59-mile-per-hour wind gust at the airport here in Jonesboro when that came through. So we got at least 60-mile-per-hour winds here in town.
All right, so there you have it, 60-mile-per-hour winds in town. I'll say this, here's some good news to pass along. I like passing along good news. It doesn't look like we had the hail that we had earlier. So I think we're transitioning maybe to heavy rain and wind. There's the line. This is looking from Arkansas Methodist Medical Center down to the south to the storms. You know, Paragould may get through this and not get any rainfall. In fact, unless they get some showers from something later on that back builds, the rain's going to stay south of Paragould. Jonesboro is just getting inundated with some heavy rain. I hear it right now. That wind is coming through Greenfield. It's moving over Highway 63 at the moment, or 163 rather. It is the worst of it right now is north of Harrisburg, but we're talking some strong winds are coming through northern parts of Poinsett County. Let's go back up here to Jonesboro. I bet the wind is easing back now. Looks like still some strong winds from Brooklyn down to Highway 18 to around Bay. But if I had to pinpoint the strongest wind right now, it'd be right there around the Greenfield area. Looks to be the worst of it. Tons of lightning with it also, and it's hard to know, are we getting these power outages from the wind, or are we getting them from these power outages? Chances are, you said, you were saying that southern parts of Greene County, if you notice, that they're getting some pretty good lightning there in the southern parts of Greene County, even with the storm passing pretty much down to the south. There's still some lightning strikes going through here. Plus, there's some main transmission lines that come down through here also.
And I just got a report basically up in Paragould on north of Highway 412 getting some flickering of lights in the north side of Paragould.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know how all that works, but I know when the Jonesboro tornado came through, we were losing power back and forth. So it's probably just once you start losing power, it just kind of messes up the entire grid. But definitely a lot of lightning going through right now. So downstream, we need people that are in the eastern parts of Craighead County, eastern parts of Poinsett County, to be aware of this storm. Even though I do think it's losing its hail. We're getting power flickering here. I do think it's losing its hail potential. I think the winds instead of 80 miles per hour might be going down to 60 miles per hour. It's still enough to cause some big time problems. But let me put a storm track on the leading edge of this storm, moving almost due east. There's a little bit of a southerly component on that. That's going to be Harrisburg 551, Truman 601, Black Oak 612, Mark Tree 617, Lepanto 618, Tyronza 625, Big Lake area at 629, and the Little River area at 631. So there's your times of arrival here. If you are anywhere in these areas, look at your watch, especially if you're streaming us right now. It is 5:53 by my watch. It says 5:52 there, but here's your times of arrival here for this storm as it passes through.
We're getting several reports of power outages from Craighead Electric right now across central parts of Craighead County as this storm is pushing through. We've got close to 2,000 customers in Craighead County alone without power right now. So, and that's on the Craighead Electric side. On the energy side, we have much all of Bona without power. I'm not seeing anything between Cache and the Poinsett County line without power, but we're starting to see some power outages in Poinsett County on the Entergy side. Checking with Jonesboro City Water and Light, not reporting many power outages at this time, but these could be slowly starting to trickle in. The Weather Service says they have lost all communications with the weather station out at the airport here in Jonesboro. So,
I got another one. This is probably the highest wind, 72 mile per hour wind gust from a weather station in Bono on the initial blast.
So it looks like now, looking at radar, the strongest winds may not be in Craighead County anymore. They're in Poinsett County, moving through Harrisburg. This is moving into Truman, down the floodway, Painway, over to Mark Tree. And this stays on this heading. This will go from Etowah to join to Osceola to Wilson as it moves over into Mississippi County. May not be as strong in Craighead County, but still strong enough to knock out power and cause damage if you live in Monette, if you live in Lake City, Black Oak, Caraway, as that moves over into Mississippi County out of Craighead County. But it looks like the strongest winds right now, at least looking at the radar, in central parts of Poinsett County, Greenfield, up and down Highway 1 into Harrisburg right now, north sides of Harrisburg, and then that will cross over Crowley's Ridge and then move towards Truman, Mark Tree, Painway, Tyronza, Lepanto, and then push over into South Mississippi County, probably right there around Etowah to West Ridge, the old Mississippi County Schools, Joyner, Wilson, Osceola, back towards Big River Steel and back towards the river. So if you live in South Mississippi County, you've got some time to start preparing. If you have a umbrella out on the patio with your patio set, bring that inside. Bring anything inside that may get lofted up and could fly into your house. Make sure that your car's inside, because we could, not seeing the hail right now, but we could see an uptick in hail at any time. But very, very strong winds now pushing through central Poinsett County.
Goodness, I'm just looking at some of the video people are sending in, which, by the way, I want to remind people, stay inside. I've seen some people posting video, from a window. I can't really condone that either, but there's some people out in this, like out in it with the lightning. If you notice, even meteorologist Jace Passmore, he's staying inside the storm tracker as he's out and about. But be safe out there, everyone. Even though this isn't a tornado warning, we've had winds 80 miles per hour. You don't want to be hit by anything flying around outside with 80-mile-per-hour winds. And this lightning out here also. Meteorologist Jace Passmore. Jace, looks like you're in town now. Looks like there's power where you're at also. What all are you seeing?
Back towards Valley View, there looked to be some street flooding where it looked to the water was trying to drain into the storm drain, but it was just too much. So make sure you're taking it very slowly on some of these roads. So it was definitely kind of like some street flooding. We were taking it really slow, dropped it down to about 10 miles an hour. So make sure you're driving very slow in this heavy rain. I'm going to jump on I-555 and with these strong winds moving through, see if I see any damage in terms of 18-wheelers turned over or anything of that nature, Ryan.
All right, appreciate that update once again. Meteorologist Jace Passmore is out in the George Kell Storm Tracker right now, giving us updates from Jonesboro, and we'll continue to check back with him.
Getting reports of numerous roof damage reports in Poinsett County right now, with the winds that are pushing through the county, through Poinsett County right now. So roof damage across the county. That's coming in from the north of the chat. We have some storm damage, some tree limbs and shingles blown off homes near Jonesboro as that's pushing through. So next in line, if you live in Painway, if you live in Truman, if you live in Mark Tree, this is heading your way. Lepanto and Tyronza, you are also in the thick of it, and eventually this will be pushing across over into Mississippi County. But want everybody in Truman, this is the strong winds coming into town now, so you really don't have too much more time in Truman. Along Highway 214 there, that comes off the ridge back down towards the floodway, Highway 4.
He just got a new smartphone, and now look at it. It was like that when I woke up.
Tired of dealing with BS? We're talking about a broken screen.
Takes you to the floodway, but very, very strong winds now getting close to the interstate. This will come into Mark Tree and Lepanto here in the next 10 minutes or so. So I want everybody in Truman.
Do we have a camera on the interstate down there?
Let me check.
It's a false memory on my part.
I don't think we do, but I'll take a look.
Okay. In the meantime, there's the severe thunderstorm warning. Craighead, Poinsett County really under the gun right now, moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. Looking at the storm, the entire thing has a lot of lightning with it, a lot of heavy rain with it, some gusty winds with it. But as Aaron was pointing out just a minute ago, the area with the highest wind speeds, if y'all can pop me up in front of the map, I'm going to point out exactly where that is. The highest wind speeds right now appear to be in Poinsett County. So if you notice, let me look at the wind here. It's this blue area. This is where we're likely to have winds probably going 60, 70, maybe even 80 miles an hour. This is where Aaron was saying we had the roof damage coming in. I'm going to put a storm track just on the leading edge of this blue area here. Moving to the east. Let me see if I got enough room here. Going 40 miles per hour.
It's going 60 now, so this is
it's pushing through.
really
Let me clear this off here then.
Really picked up speed as it's gusting
Clear
through
this.
Poinsett County.
Let me zoom out just a little bit, reposition this so we can really put a good storm track on this. You know, models were showing this really picking up some speed, developing, moving through, and then just blasting through here by 7 o'clock, and it looks like that's exactly what it's doing. So leading edge of this, moving at 60 miles per hour, kind of east-southeast. So we'll put it right there. That's going to have it Mark Tree 606, Lepanto 610, Joyner 621, Pecan Point at 628. And then it will start crossing over the river into Tennessee, into our sister station WMC's territory. So we'll watch this. Poinsett County, we are a little worried about the damage reports coming out of there right now because that's some really, really strong wind that's passing through. I'm going to zoom all the way down to street level here. The strongest winds right now are moving along 214 just by 163. Here's Mark Tree. Get ready. You're going to see some wind. You're probably going to see some power outages. Go a little bit. That's Truman here. So Truman, it's going to be the worst of it's going to be Truman between Truman and Mark Tree.
I'm seeing. I'm going to be a dad for a second, even though I'm not a dad. But I'm seeing pictures from shoppers inside of a store in Jonesboro as the storm was coming through right up against the glass. You do not, that's the last place you want to be when you had strong winds blowing through, is pushed right up against the glass. So if you're inside, get into the middle of your house. Kind of treat it as a tornado warning right now, especially if you're in Poinsett County, because we don't want you hurt by any flying debris that may crash into that glass and break the glass, because that's going to be a bad day if it does happen. But we do have some very, very strong winds now that's pushing across I-555 right there at the turn that takes you south on the second Truman exit back to the Painway exit. That's going to continue across that area, go across the floodway in the St. Francis River, and move towards Lepanto. If you're in Lepanto, this will be in town in the next 10 minutes or so. Mark Tree Tyrons are the same. The winds in Craighead County don't look as strong as they did a while ago, but still some very gusty winds pushing through Lake City. That's going to move more towards Black Oak to Caraway, as that pushes across southern parts and southeastern parts of Craighead County.
Hold on one second. Sorry to interrupt you. J. Paul Woods, mayor in Truman, is joining me on the phone right now. And J. Paul, you are live on air. What do you guys have going on down in Truman?
Well, Ryan, actually, I'm in Painway.
Okay.
And we've got, I'm going to say 75 to 80 mile an hour winds. Our flagpoles at the church are just, look, I'm afraid they're going to break.
Okay.
It's, I mean, leaves, limbs, everything blowing everywhere down here.
Do y'all still have power down there right now?
No, we're without power. We just saw a transformer blow just a few seconds ago.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that update, and check back in if you've got anything else. I appreciate that.
I sure will.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right, so that's Mayor J. Paul Woods out of Truman, but he is here in Painway. Just lost power, transformer blown, estimating winds. I believe he said, did he say
75 to 80 miles per
so
hour.
he's right here. That's where his church is. And the worst of the winds haven't, I'm sure this radar scan was probably 90 seconds ago or so. So he probably just got this right here. So that gives us now an idea of what this is doing. It's knocking out power. It's 75-mile-per-hour winds. That is going to be right up there with a high-end EF0, EF1 tornado if it were a tornado. But it's just straight-line winds. As we said earlier, it doesn't matter if the winds are going straight or if they're spinning around. Winds at 80 miles per hour are destructive and can cause problems. So anywhere that's in the path of this blue area, you can expect 75-mile-per-hour winds. Just got a report right there, Mayor of Truman down here at Painway at church, and you can see here's Mark Tree. So this is coming across 214. We're going to get some really strong winds to come between Lepanto, Mark Tree, and Tyronza. Now, this isn't taking anything away from areas to the north just because this is the worst areas. I'm getting reports up here in Lake City of some really strong winds. They're probably 50, 60 mile per hour winds up here in Lake City. That's coming into probably the Caraway area also. Etowah is going to get 50 to 60, maybe Big Lake and Manila. But when you get down into this blue area, crossing over Interstate 555 right now, that's going to be 75 mile per hour winds crossing over Interstate 555 right now. Anything new over there?
Nothing new at the time. Still watching very, very strong winds that are coming through the area. Got just outside of this, up in Paragould, they had wind gusts while ago 40 miles per hour. So
wow.
Even up there in Paragould, they haven't seen a drop of rain all day long. Hot, very hot day across those areas. Still strong winds gusting out of this storm. So even into Paragould, you're getting strong winds. So that means strong winds will come into Monette, into Leachville and Manila. May not be quite severe, 40, 45 miles per hour, still pretty strong. Still some very strong winds though pushing through the middle of now into eastern parts of Poinsett County. And I just want to give just a line from Lake City all the way down to Mark Tree on time of arrivals. Make sure everybody from the north end to the south end of this bow gets a warning. I want to get Osceola in this as well. So Mark Tree, this is coming into town right now. Lepanto at 6:10. This will be into Etowah at 6:15. Birdsong at 6:19. Joyner 6:23, Osceola at 6:30, 6:33 in Luxora, and then it crosses the Mississippi River and moves into Tennessee. That's Drummond, Atoka, and Covington. But for the next at least 30 to 40 minutes, we're going to deal with some very strong winds from Mark Tree all the way to Luxora and Osceola as this pushes across out of Craighead
hold on one second, Aaron.
and Poinsett County.
J. Paul Woods calling back right now. Go ahead, J. Paul.
Hey, I can't get an anemometer out there, but I'm going to say we're pushing 90-mile-an-hour winds
Wow.
in Painway. We just had a big tree fell across the road right here by the church. I can't tell if it hit a vehicle or not, but our flags and our flag poles are just, I mean, they're rocking. I got some video, but I didn't get video of the tree falling. I just cut it off. I was going to go look out the back door.
Okay.
But it's hammering here.
All right, I appreciate that update. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Once again, that's out of the Painway area. That's J. Paul Woods, Mayor of Truman. Let's go back to radar. He is right here. So he said he didn't have an anemometer there, but that dark blue right there, that's rocking and rolling. 80 and 90 mile per hour, just lost trees right here. This is coming into Mark Tree. We are about to have some trees down in Mark Tree. We're about to have power outages down in Mark Tree if we don't have them down already. And then Lepanto's probably going to get in on that also. So let's treat this one. Let's treat this one serious right now. Let me kind of scan this one over. It's crossing over Highway 14. Lepanto to Mark Tree is about to get rocked with 80 to 90 mile per hour winds, and then that's going to come on over into the southern parts of Mississippi County. I give this about 45 minutes tops, and this is going to be outside of Region 8.
Oh yeah, it's not going to take long for this to, with this moving at 60 miles per hour. And one thing that the strong winds are doing with this storm, at least, is pushing the storm out quickly. It was moving when it was back over towards towards Cave City and towards Mountain View a little bit earlier, when it was more of a hail threat, it was kind of moving 30 to 35 miles per hour. When it finally got its push of wind, that's when we got the storm to pick up forward speed, and it's moving very fast. But with it moving very fast, that means there is very strong winds that are pushing through the area. Power outages right now, we've got, this is just from Craighead Electric, we've got about 800, almost 900 customers in Poinsett County without power, 1,700 in Craighead County, 200, about 300 in Greene County, 300 in Lawrence County. Looking at Jonesboro, City Water and Light, we have around, get you a summary right now, we have around probably 5,000 customers without power in the city of Jonesboro. Those are mainly in the western and northern parts of town. And then we have some outages back down towards the south side of town as you get back towards Highway 1 and Harrisburg Road. And then Entergy, we've got Lake City without power, Bono's without power. Probably going to start to see Truman, Mark Tree, and Lepanto without power. Still looks like we have power in Harrisburg, so that's good news. And back towards Wiener and Waldenburg, we still have power, but very strong winds now pushing into Truman and Mark Tree. I would not be surprised to start to see power start to become an issue there.
So then hail reports pretty much have gone away.
Hail reports have gone away, and we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for southeastern Craighead County, eastern parts of Poinsett County, northeastern parts of Ross County, South Mississippi, northern Crittenden counties for this severe thunderstorm that's pushing through now. 70 mile per hour winds they're going with this right now, an inch-size hail. But we're also starting to get reports of, we had that report of getting close to 90 mile per hour estimated winds. So anywhere from, say, 70 to 90 mile per hour winds, EF0 to EF1 tornado strength winds pushing through Poinsett County. That will be moving in Mississippi County. We're getting reports of trees down in outside of Mark Tree, about 5 miles outside of Mark Tree, so that's coming into Mark Tree now.
Tell you what, we started getting a lot of is we've got power outages coming from Goobertown up to Paragould. Just some gusty winds there. The strongest winds right now are Mark Tree to Lepanto. Let me widen all the way out for just a second. Even the northern side of this, as it was coming through, I'm going to zoom in kind of this area and put this into motion. When this was coming through, while we were focusing on this, where we've had 80, 90 mile per hour winds coming through here, even up through here, we had some winds going 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been retweeting some videos coming out of South Paragould, right through here. There's a lot of construction going on Highway 49 South. A lot of places getting leveled, a lot of dirt work going on, and there was just a flat-out dust storm that came through from west to east on Highway 49, dropped visibility, and there was also a fire right at Highway 69 and 49, right there across from Craighead Electric, right where the new Central Baptist location is being built. There was a fire on the corner of that also, kind of a brush fire. So that wind really got going through there. It has calmed down now. Of course, there wasn't a ton of rain there either, so to settle the dust or even put out the fire. But down to the south, that's where all the heavy rain was. Now this is almost about to come out of Poinsett County. Just talked to Jeff Jones in Truman. Said power's still on in Truman. Said the wind's starting to ease back, still raining. But I think Mark Tree right now, Mark Tree is the area. You see that blue there. That's what's so incredible about radar now, the technology now. We can look right into that rain, right into that heavy rain and go, okay, this is the strongest part of the storm. Instead of a tight rotation, this is winds anywhere from 60 to 90 miles per hour right here, plowing through Mark Tree, going over Highway 14, about to come over 135. Interstate 555 right now is probably just an extreme headache. Had reports right there. You heard it live just a little bit ago from Mayor of Truman, J. Paul Woods, sitting down here at church at Painway, When you're heading down 555, there's that church there to the right. That is where he was located. Trees down here, and that wind now is moving over Mark Tree. Tyronza is up next. This is crossing over 135, over 118, about to move into the Winton community, and then it's going to cross over 55, and it's going to be outside of Region 8. We can rejoin regular programming. Typically, we don't stay on for a severe thunderstorm warning, but when you have everybody's phones going off, because the National Weather Service did flag this as, what do they call that now?
Destructive, I think was the name.
Severe thunderstorm warning. It's the step above a severe thunderstorm warning, and I think anybody that was out in these storms, you understand why we are on right now covering up programming. So we're going to stick with you for just a little bit longer as this continues to plow through Mark Tree, Tyronza, and going over 135. Tell you what, I'll take you all the way down into street level here, and we will stop the animation. See these blue colors here? This is where we've got winds 70, 80 miles per hour in Mark Tree. I fully anticipate Mark Tree right now is very stormy. We've got winds, probably some trees going down, power lines maybe going down, and then here's Tyronza. It's coming into there now also. Anything new over there?
Nothing new, just that fire you were talking about in Paragould, that tree limb fell on a power line, caught on fire in Paragould. But I went and I've sampled some of the winds, and think about this. We have winds above our heads blowing at 85 miles per hour outside of Tyronza and Mark Tree, 83, 75, 76, 75. And you got to remember the radar beam kind of tilts up, but the storm is getting closer and closer to that radar beam in Millington. So 85 miles per hour translating to the ground, maybe 80 to 75. So very, very strong winds pushing through eastern Poinsett County right now along Highway 135 that takes you from Tyronza to Lepanto. You have it along Highway 308. Dewey Mill, Fry's Mill, Alto, up into Lepanto. Then as it crosses into Tyronza, across Highway 135, then crossing over into Mississippi County, McClendon's Quarter, Whitten, Birdsong, Joyner. We're going to see this strong wind, 60 to say 85, 90 mile per hour winds that's over here to your west in Mark Tree and Tyronza, across over into Mississippi County. So Birdsong, Whitten, up to Dice. That's where we're going to see probably the strongest winds from Dice down to Frenchman's Bayou as it moves to the southern parts of Mississippi County. You may be asking up in Blytheville and up in Gosnell, what about us? I think probably most of the rain will probably stay south of Blytheville and Gosnell. We have the heavy rain, the strong winds pushing out of Craighead County and out through Poinsett County, fixing across into southern Mississippi County. And that will bring tree limbs down, power outages. We have 5,000 people without power, 5,000 customers without power in the city of Jonesboro alone. If you look at the other power companies, nearly 1,600 people without power in Poinsett County, nearly 2,000 in Craighead County alone. And then on top of that energy, we're starting to get power outages. Starting to pop up in Mark Tree, starting to pop up in Tyronza, in Lepanto. So that strong wind is starting to knock out power through a lot of eastern parts of Poinsett County. Probably knocked out some power here in southeastern parts of Craighead County. It will start to push out, knock out power through southern parts of Mississippi County, south of Blytheville, south of Gosnell, south of Manila, back towards Osceola, Wilson. I think that's where we're going to see some of the strongest winds as it pushes down. The next community will be Marie, then Wilson, right there around Rivercrest Schools. And then before you know it, next 15, 20 minutes, this should be crossing the Mississippi River, and we should start to get more in a way of what kind of damage was left behind with not just the hail back up into the hills, but now the strong winds pushing through the delta.
You know, it sounds like we have some wind also kicking up behind all these storms. Could be the front coming through right now. I don't know if you want to check some of the other locations, but I'm getting some strong wind being reported outside of the rain. You know, we got all this right now that we've been talking about, which you can see. You've got to have rain falling to see the wind on radar, but I think we may be getting some gradient winds coming in now on the backside. Check on that. That may just be from the front.
We got sustained winds right now in Walnut Ridge, 21 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour in Corning, 13 miles per hour in Poplar Bluff. So we're starting to see those winds pick up behind the front. It's sunny right now in Walnut Ridge, so we got 20 mile per hour wind gusts sustained in Walnut Ridge.
So that's what that is. The wind's kicking up. There it is. There's the map there. Got wind gusts going a little higher than that, but that's sustained winds right now. There's your wind gusts, 33
mile per hour wind gusts in Walnut Ridge.
So there you go, 33 mile per hour wind gusts, and it's sunny now. So the storms have gone through, front's coming through now, and it's starting, I think, to still be what we call gradient winds, the winds just outside of the storm. So tell you what we're going to do. Let's go back to radar for just a second. We're not going to be on a whole lot more longer because this is about to move out of Region 8. And then we will go back to regular programming, but here's the area that we're watching. Severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. It's passing through Mark Tree now, and this thing's about to move out and head towards our sister station down in Memphis, which would be WMC. So we'll pass the coverage off here shortly. Tell you what, anything new to report over there?
No, just with the power being out in Bono right now, the traffic light is out there on 63. So remember, when you're coming down 63, we know how dangerous that road can be at times whenever it is nice and sunny outside. People going fast down 63. The light is out there at 63 and Business 63. And Bono got approximate wind gusts. This is in Cardwell, Missouri, 60 mile per hour while ago. So if we go, just want to show you on radar, just show you where the rain and the wind is, and give you here's Cardwell. That's Cardwell. This is where all the rain is.
They had 60 mile per hour winds there?
60 mile per hour wind gusts in Cardwell.
Well, you know, something else is we have trees down by Greene County Tech High School, South Paragould. So the wind really got rowdy even on the northern side of this. I don't know if it was some kind of little mezzo low or you know, they were officially under a severe thunderstorm warning, so it wasn't like it was unwarned, but you know, it's one of those things where you have 80 and 90 mile per hour winds one location, doesn't take away from the 60 mile per hour winds on the northern side of it.
We've got a lot of new trees down and power lines down across Brooklyn, and most of the strong winds stayed through Jonesboro and south of Jonesboro into Poinsett County, but we got wind damage in Brooklyn. So just because you are outside the wind, outside of the rain in Manila, in Leechville, even Blytheville, just keep a heads up. We have strong winds that are not just right here in the storm, but they're gusting out of the storm, going this way and going this way out of the storm. So we're going to have strong winds that could blow through Blytheville, that's blowing through the Boot Hill right now. So even though it's not raining, it's probably got some sunshine out in Cardwell, Missouri right now. Got some strong winds gusting out from the storm.
I'm really starting to think that we're getting just some strong winds behind the front. I just got another tweet that says winds are picking up in Pocahontas with a crazy amount of dust. So
we'll have this first round of wind that's just pushed through our area, and then on the back sides of it, we're going to start to see winds picking up. So just because we have the wind, the rain coming to an end in Bono with no power, we're going to see the wind pick right back up.
I mean, as you can see, it's sunny there, but I'm looking at the trees there. I don't see them blowing around too much.
I can, just a little bit.
Oh yeah, I see.
I'll zoom into that camera and just.
Tell you what, let's go to radar for just a second. I want to check on a couple of things. First of all, like I said, we're about to rejoin regular program. The worst part of this is about to cross over the river. It's gone through Poinsett County now, kind of going through the southern parts of Mississippi County. Still showing some rain. Is that rain here? Let's take a look. So we're still seeing some rain back through here, and still some up here in Greene County also. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's rain. So we still have some rain even back behind here, and even some rain coming through Paragould right now. So
I just zoomed into that camera there in Pocahontas, and
let's go to it.
Those trees are blowing pretty good there in Pocahontas right now.
So we got front coming through, and the wind's still kicking up then. So that's where somebody's getting all the dust reports coming out. Let's go to the Pocahontas camera. Oh yeah, it is. The wind is blowing around good. So this is behind the front. Behind the front, still getting kind of crazy. So let's go with meteorologist Jace Passmore, if we could. Jace is out in the George Kell Storm Tracker. Looks like he has come up on some trees down. That wind is blowing in Pocahontas. Jace, can you hear us right now? And what are you saying?
Yeah, hey Ron, I just exited off I-555. I'm in Painway in Poinsett County. There was trees laid over right here in front of me. The sign that indicates where you exit onto Painway has been folded across like the median or the cheese grater that protects cars from crossing over into other lanes. And also back in Craighead County, I was noticing a very dangerous trend. People were stopping under underpasses and causing traffic to kind of back up. And then I saw someone try to turn a U-turn under the underpass to kind of squeeze in there. That is very dangerous to try to park under underpasses. Sheltering under underpasses is very dangerous. Definitely.
Yeah, especially when people can't see.
Blinding rain's coming down. So I can see Cornerstone Baptist Church where J. Paul is at right now. I can see that. All the signs are laid over except for this one right in front of me. I went through Truman, or briefly passed over the overpass there. Power looked fine, at least on that side of town. I haven't seen anything in the way of 18-wheelers. Another good thing I've noticed is that the roads, or at least I-555, were very quiet, very empty.
That's a good thing. Hopefully people are staying at home because it's just so stinking hot outside, and then we're in when this came through. All right, appreciate that, Jace. Tell you what, Aaron, if you don't have anything to add, I think we're going to probably rejoin the regular program. You got anything to add?
The only thing I'd add right now is I'm looking at the winds and the storm. I think I'm starting to see why we're starting to see those strong wind reports in places like Cardwell and probably become in Manila. You can see that there's a gust front that's pushing out from this storm that's stretching from the Boot Hill
I see that.
all the way down the length of Mississippi County, all the way to Wilson. So you're going to get strong winds that's going to that's moving through places like Dale right now. That will move into Gosnell and Blytheville. Outside of the storm, it's going to probably not see a drop of rain in Blytheville and Gosnell, but you're going to see a gust of wind push through with this storm. So that just shows you the energy and the wind that was within this storm being pushed out, pushing a strong gust of wind now through northern Mississippi County without a drop of rain.
So I just had another report, Paragould, 10 to 15 minutes of very heavy sustained winds just a bit ago. So
I just got a picture. This is from Truman of somebody's pool that looked like I'm not sure if it was empty or what, but it's on its side now. One of those pools that you put the rods in the top and on the sides, and it's one of those 4.5 foot pools that's been lifted up and thrown over in Truman. So we're getting a lot of reports of damage in Truman, in and around Mark Tree and Lepanto. Power is out in a lot of areas: Lake City, Mark Tree, Lepanto. Some areas of Truman, not too many people without power in Truman, but now that strongest wind is now pushing into southern Mississippi County, Joyner to Frenchman's Bayou, and this will be crossing over the Mississippi River within the next 5 minutes or so. So that's where we see our strongest winds on I-55, Joyner, Frenchman's Bayou, around South County Road 203, South County Road 1180, South County Road 1212. There in southern parts of Mississippi County. That's where we're seeing some of our strongest winds. Joyner, you're going to get into on that Frenchman's Bayou, and eventually crossing over the Mississippi River into Tennessee, and no longer be a big problem with us. But strong winds, then you'll have heavy rain. So the heavy rain now in Birdsong, light to moderate rain in Joyner and in Frenchman's Bayou. That's going to be followed by heavier rain as that wind pushes across up to Wilson. We'll see the strong winds moving there. Probably some strong winds continue all the way back towards Lepanto. Just kind of looking at the radar, kind of some strong winds wrapping in on the backside of that, but strong winds still through eastern Poinsett County, Mark Tree, Tyrone, Lepanto. That stretches up to Etowah. That will move towards Marie, and Osceola and Joyner here pretty soon with some of the strongest wind already getting power outage in Bassett and in Joyner. Power's out in Kaiser and Victoria. Power's out in Marie. I would expect power to be knocked out in Wilson and Luxora before too long. Still a lot of power outages back towards the west, and the severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect really now for Mississippi County, Poinsett County, northern parts of Crittenden County. It does include Craighead County and Cross County, but the strongest winds are pushing through Poinsett, Mississippi County, and Crittenden County.
All right, so, we still have rain popping up. It's just odd. We've got, of course, the strongest part of the storm that Aaron was just pointing out, but we're getting gradient winds, just some gusty winds coming in on the backside of this. And then if you've got anybody down to the south here, we've got strong storms, severe thunderstorm warnings down in the Little Rock area. Those are going to continue to push down to the south. This is definitely winding down. And I think it was very warranted for us to stay on. Like I said, we usually don't stay on for severe thunderstorm warnings, but this one was a little bit different, some pretty strong winds. Meteorologist Jace Passmore, looks like you have found more tree damage. Where are you at right now, Jace? Where are you at right now, and what are you seeing? I'm not sure if you can hear me yet or not.
Yeah, I'm in Painway. I'm at Cornerstone Baptist Church. You heard J. Paul about 30 minutes ago talk about the large tree that has fallen over, and this is it right here. I mean, this looks to be an old tree, very tall, but it has fallen over. There was a couple more trees going out towards Harrisburg that were fallen over and also blocked the road. And if I could, let me see if I can turn the storm tracker. It looks like these people might have suffered some roof damage right there. Let me flip this around. You can see maybe right there where the roof is starting to try to come up right there.
Yeah.
So
well, we have
definitely some damage here.
Okay, once again, meteorologist Jace Passmore is down in the Painway area down in Poinsett County in the George Kell Storm Tracker, and this is where we had some reports of 80+ mile-per-hour winds. So you can see that storm as it blew through. Tell you what, things are starting to wind down now. Severe thunderstorm warning is going to continue. It's about to cross over the river. We've got gusty winds probably from Blytheville down to Osceola. Nothing as extreme as what it was. We're going to see some wind. So, yeah, we're going back to regular programming. You're going to see a little bit of wind. We've had wind reports continuing 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, still some showers here and there, but this worst part is crossing over the river now. And anything else to add? You got rain right on top of Jonesboro, don't we?
Just got a storm that just rain popping up right over the center of Jonesboro right now. So we do have heavy rain. The strongest storm is now, that strong storm is now down in Mississippi and Crittenden counties, but still we got some heavy rain popping back up in Jonesboro. That may worsen some of the street flooding that we've seen in Jonesboro. We have some rain showers that continue up in Greene County, north of Paragould, back towards Marmaduke and Mounds. Some light showers through parts of Sharp County and starting to pop back up into parts of Randolph County, but those aren't severe. And then we have this monster of a storm that we've been tracking since it was back in Mountain View, putting down some large hail, now becoming a big wind threat, but the wind threat is now starting to cross the river. But stay inside if you're in eastern Poinsett County, South Mississippi, northern Crittenden. If you're not getting the wind, there is still a lot of lightning with this storm right over I-55 and 555 there at the junction at Turl. So without the wind and the rain, we have a lot of lightning still with the storm.
All right, so we're going to continue to watch it. We're going to rejoin regular programming now, and if we need to break back in, of course, we will. We're going to watch this storm as it continues to move out. We're going to watch these little showers and storms that are trying to develop. We got one right on top of Jonesboro right now. If we need to break back in, we will. We'll keep you updated also on the KAIT weather app throughout the rest of the evening. Hopefully, everybody fared this without too much damage, and hopefully you got some beneficial rain without too much damage also. It definitely had a lot of heat to work with, did cool us off for the evening hours. We're going to watch this storm move on out of here, and then for the rest of the night, outside of these gusty winds behind the front, we should be quieter, and any kind of threat to property and lives should drastically start going down. So For meteorologist Aaron Castleberry and myself, and meteorologist Jace Passmore, who's out in the George Kell Storm Tracker right now, we'll rejoin regular programming. And if we don't have to break back in, we'll see you tonight on K8 News at 10.
Hey Alfonso, we want more drawing videos.